What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy, and I gotta be honest, I never thought we'd see the day that we get an article and a story like this, because this is very interesting to go over. But to start things off, we're talking Thor: Love and Thunder, and technically Thor Ragnarok as well. I'll be fair here. When it comes to Thor: Love and Thunder and Thor Ragnarok, Love and Thunder is total dog garbage. I have to be a little careful for YouTube censors right off the bat, but I did like Thor Ragnarok. I will outright say it. Even with the preachiness and everything like that, I still enjoyed Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was a fun ride, okay? But we're going to start here with Thor: Love and Thunder. I get it. Right now it says audience scores to 76% to a critic score of 63%. But granted, that's because very little people went to actually go see this movie. By comparison, ticket prices and everything like that actually ended up proving that. You come here to the actual numbers, and well, you know, this movie says, hey, look, at the end of the worldwide box office, this made $760 million worldwide. Long cry from where it actually needed to be, around closer to maybe $1 billion or something. It basically broke even, didn't even make a profit. It was actually a total disaster for the MCU at the time. You know, you had the famous line from Taika Waititi that terrified everybody in a moment. I'll ruin your mythos in a minute, baby. And you want to know why he said this? You legitimately want to know why he said it? Because he came out and finally admitted it. Taika Waititi. Oh God, we actually got one to admit it, and I find it so beautiful. Taika Waititi admits he only did Thor for the money. He only did it for the money. He destroyed Thor. He demeaned Thor. He treated this world as a joke solely for the money. Hey, I gotta give him credit. At least he admitted to it. At least he admitted that he never cared for the character. He never cared for the mythos, never read the comics, has no real care for it, and only did it because there was a paycheck involved. But let's go through this, shall we? Director Taika Waititi has admitted he only did the 2 Thor movies for Marvel because of the money and isn't even a fan of the character. Note to Kevin, I don't need to do that. It's just a note from a comic book news. This is why you don't hire clowns like this that don't know the comics. That's essentially what this line is. But of course, Taika Waititi directed Thor Ragnarok, which was really successful, where it's thought he was allowed to do whatever he wanted with Thor: Love and Thunder, which explains that mess. Fans voted Thor: Love and Thunder the movie that broke the MCU's back. Probably. It was a garbage movie. I'd actually probably go further back with Multiverse of Madness, but I think this is probably the breaking point for a lot of people as well. Thor is the bottom of the barrel for Waititi. While recently appearing on the Smartless podcast, Taika Waititi explains why he took the Marvel gig. Had no interest in doing one of these films, Waititi said. It wasn't on my plan for my career as an auteur, but I was poor and I just had a second child, and I thought, you know what? This would be a great opportunity to feed these children. Yeah, it would. I'm not going to deny it. Okay, he's at least being honest with us. Yeah, they probably paid him really well. But guess what? In the process, you destroyed a character, and I hate you for it. I legitimately hate you for that. Okay, so I have no respect for you, but at least I have a little bit more respect that you're outright admitting it. Hey, I did it for the money. But in the process, it's like, oh, wow, thank you. Thank you for destroying everything. A character that was actually very prominent and very good, and yeah, thank you for that. Thank you, Taika. Waititi continued with the mention that Thor was probably the least popular franchise. Yeah, because they never knew how to actually write Thor or deal with Thor. Thor in the comic book series was actually more popular, more beloved, and treated with very well respect. Thor 1 is actually a very fantastic movie looking back at it. Thor 2, not so much, but looking back at it now, compared to anything else that compared to Ragnarok and well, gotta be honest, Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor 2 Dark World is a masterpiece by comparison. It is night and day. That's how sad we are right now. But this was a world where honestly you could have done a whole lot of work. It was a darker, more grittier, more serious world. You needed to treat it more like an I won't say an Arthurian tale, but more of a Renaissance tale, so Shakespearean-esque, something like that, because that's what these characters were. They were never very comic relief, fun, enjoyable characters. Even though I do like Ragnarok, I thought it was a fun time. This is a more serious character. This is a more darker, grittier character that has to deal with some bigger level context and everything like that. Worlds, Nordic mythologies, all sorts of fun stuff wrapped into it that you just butchered because, hey, why the hell do I even care? I never read Thor comics as a kid. That was the comic I'd pick up and be like, ugh. And then I did some research on it and I read one Thor comic at 18 pages or however long they are. I was still baffled by this character. God, you just gotta love it. You just gotta love the fact that he's outright admitting it. That's the most enjoyous part about this, and that's the only part I have to give him credit for, is he is admitting that he never cared about these characters. He's never cared about any of this, and he only did it for a paycheck. And that makes you start wondering how many other Marvel directors, writers, people like that have never cared about these properties one little bit and just did it because it's gonna be a nice payday. That's probably a lot of people in all. Honestly, basically Marvel at this point is where you go to end your career or you go just for a paycheck because you know it's going to be garbage. That's the only reason you go to Marvel now, to be an actor or a director. The director added that when Marvel Studios approached him to direct the film, he thought, well, they've called me in. This is really the bottom of the barrel. Oh, and you guys also got to remember, at the time of him doing Ragnarok, that would have been 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. Marvel was at it, basically at its peak. You had Black Panther, which movie, I gotta be honest, it wasn't the greatest movie ever, but it was fun in its own regard. You had like Black Panther, but you had other fantastic storylines going on at the same time. You had Thor, Civil War. You had Civil War was a little bit before that. Civil War is one I'm going to think about. Guardians of the Galaxy. You had a bunch of actually fun, enjoyable times, fun, enjoyable characters that had different storylines, different aspect to each character. This was actually at one of its peak. It was not a bottom of the barrel area, but that also tells you where a lot of these artists are at the time. They don't actually care. They never gave respect to any of these properties where fans 100% did. The actual comic book writers, people like Chuck. Even though Chuck Dixon didn't do a whole lot of Marvel work, from my understanding, he mainly focused on DC. Chuck Dixon always treated these things as like pure art, pure entertainment, and you have to give these the respect that they deserve. These people never once gave it respect. These people don't care about these properties and never cared about these properties. They might have read a comic here or there, but in the grand scheme of things, they don't really give a crap. Let's continue on, though. No Thor for what? No Thor for. Oh yeah, it basically ends with he admits that he's not going to do a fifth. He's not going to be directing the fifth Thor movie. But at the end of the day, all I gotta give Taika Waititi credit for is just coming out and admitting it. That's the one thing I have to give him credit for, because I do find it funny, and it does show you that basically none of these directors, creators, or anything have at least within modern Marvel, have ever actually cared about these Marvel properties, comic books, or anything like that. They're just out here for a paycheck. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Check out coffeebrandcoffee.com. What's going on, guys? Listen, it's Christmas season coming up, and you know what makes great gifts? That's right, Coffee Brand Coffee. Coffee Brand Coffee makes wonderful gifts, and guess what? They don't just have great coffees, teas, and cocos. They also got gear, they got K-cups, and also they got wonderful gift boxes. Gift boxes that include all sorts of wonderful, great goodies. You got chocolate covered coffee beans, raspberry yogurt pretzel twists, sea salt milk chocolates, caramel. You got chocolate covered coffee beans, peppermint hot cocoa, spicy and sweet treat mixes, kettle corn pop, premium vacuum travel tumblers, and all sorts of wonderful great stuff that you can get at Coffee Brand Coffee. And these make great Christmas gifts. So guys, please check out coffeebrandcoffee.com and use promo code Back Taco at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. That's coffeebrandcoffee.com, promo code BACKTACO.